Hello, everyone. I figured it only fitting to start the segment off with a tribute to our military. It is amazing to see how poorly they have been treated today, like last 15, 20 years. Hello, Tom. So to all the surviving military personnel, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Godspeed to all the ones we've lost, which is the reason for tomorrow. The crazy thing is, I think people conflate the love for the military with the love for the military industrial complex. When we say we honor the military, we don't honor the warmongers and the evildoers and the ones that force wars upon our soldiers. We don't honor those people. Those are not the military that we talk about. Those are evildoers. They are scoundrels. The military are the men and women, boots on the ground, the ones that put themselves in harm's way day in, day out, sometimes for things they don't necessarily understand, but because it's a call. Sometimes for things they don't agree with. People today, they relish their so-called freedoms, but hate giving homage to the ones that made it possible. Because I don't care how many times a politician will go to debate another politician. It doesn't make an ounce of difference unless someone loses something for it. And that usually falls to the people in the military. Even life. Many kids have grown up without parents because the parent was lost in war, lost in an attack protecting this country. I keep trying to tell people that the wars and the wars and the wars that keep going on, they don't reflect the heart of the soldier. The wars reflect the heart of the people instigating it. The aftermath bears the soldier. The bloodstains left on street corners and on signposts and in vehicles. That's what the soldier carries with him and her. I don't necessarily envy soldiers, but I do, because they get to really put their honor to the test. And when I say honor to the country and to the test, it's an honor to the founding of the country, not to the politicians, not to the government. That's not where loyalty lies. The loyalty of the soldier lies in its servanthood to the people. The government only sends them to war. The soldier is there to protect the people if it does hit mainland. The soldier is there to protect people when he is sent. The very first soldiers are the ones that fought for the freedom of this United States. And the very first soldiers were the ones that were ordinary citizens like you and I. Which is why it was so vital. You see, people don't necessarily fight for stuff that they don't value. It would take men and women signing up of their own free will for the soldiers to matter. If they were hired by any other means, it wouldn't mean nearly as much, and you wouldn't see the type of loyalty they have today to each other. They wouldn't have a brotherhood. There wouldn't be the type of love that you see among soldiers after they have left service. The reason that there's that type of brotherhood is because they have done it together because of country and love of their fellow man, not because someone else told them to, not because they were saying, hey, we're going to pay you this much, do it. They don't get paid nearly enough to do what they do, first of all. But you sign up for it. It's internal. It's something that you see and you say to yourself, I am going to fight for what little freedom is offered to me, and I will die to keep it. And if that means dying for somebody else's freedom, I'm going to do it too. Which is why it angers me so to see the kinds of betrayal that the populace sometimes throws on soldiers. This blatant disrespect for them is just, it's abhorrent. It's just abhorrent. I cannot get it. Yet they're more than willing to appreciate and love all the free days of holidays that they get from it. They trounce around the countryside. That was because of soldiers. They live in America because of soldiers. People have not been allowed to continue plans to kill Americans because of soldiers. Yet they're the most disrespected outside of cops, the most disrespected body. It's because people don't understand freedom. They don't understand America, and they've been told something completely contrary. It's been an ongoing plan for a long time to destroy the viewpoints of the children coming up and how they see where they live. There's no easier way to destroy a country than to destroy its offspring mentally about how they view where they live. If I want to get my kids to hate where they live, I will tell them every day how horrible it is. I will give them history upon history of how piss poor it is to be here. Before too long, I won't have to tell them anything. They'll just believe that. They could be living in a mansion, wouldn't matter what I tell them. If I keep repeating it to them, it'll eventually take. You see that today. You see it today. It is very rampant today. You'll see people that have no concept of what it means to be an American citizen. And they abuse every privilege that they have and use it to bash the very thing that gives them the ability to say the crap that they say. It's insane to me. And ironically, as I was prepping for this, something came across my Facebook feed that exemplified that exact same sentiment. So we're gonna. It was just it's just crazy. Take a listen.
I don't think Memorial Day should be a thing that we celebrate personally. Okay, why not? I feel like it's a celebration of U.S. imperialism and colonialism.
I think it represents a lot of negative aspects of America and highlights something that, people shouldn't necessarily be proud of.
Do you know why we celebrate Memorial Day?
I know it's like veterans. Yeah.
Do you know why we celebrate Memorial Day?
Not really, no.
To be honest, not really.
I didn't really think of it in this way until I got to college and I took women's and gender studies classes, and that put me on this path where I'm like, yeah, like the U.S.
Oh man, that's
It's almost past the point of angering to where it's just sad. It's just straight up sad. We were told some time ago that this was going to start happening, that the best way for socialism to step in was to indoctrinate the youth. They started this indoctrination way back in the 40s. Earlier than that, really, but really hardcore in the 40s. And it has come full circle. It takes about 30 years to really do its damage. And now you're seeing the results of that exact same thing. They have now completely removed all patriotism from schools. Even to talk about being a patriot in school can get you suspended. Wearing an American flag can get you suspended. Speaking positively about the American spirit can get you suspended. Saying you're going to put America first before other countries will get you suspended. I don't understand for the life of me the vitriol towards soldiers. I just I don't get it. I don't get it. It and it's more than just the soldiers. It's the death of them that they just don't even acknowledge. And I'm not just talking about those in war. When they come home, they're no longer any mental good to themselves, much less to society at times. It's just so. Adam, you're part of the 3rd Battalion. Is that? Make sure I'm reading that right. If you can clarify, I want to make sure I have this read out right in my head as I say it out loud. That's what I thought. Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure that I was reading it correctly. There wasn't a typo or something. So thank you, Adam, for your service. You and the members of the 3rd Battalion, 6th Marine, 2nd Marine Division. Hang on a second. Someone's calling. You are a rare breed. It takes a lot to do this Marine thing. I have met my share of Marines, and they're a different kind of people. A very different kind of people. Not a bad different, just a very different kind of people. I think you have the similarities I see with you are the same I see with the older Army men, not the newer ones, the older ones. That same streak of, that don't give a streak. But thank you for your service, and all who are in the office. I know that Tom served, so thank you, Tom. And if you have military people in your family, please share this live, because I do want to honor them, the ones, especially the ones who have fallen, which is why I played that clip first of Taps. I don't want to go without mentioning the ones who have fallen. Unfortunately for us, there is a party that does their utmost best to disrespect the military at any chance and opportunity they get. Seriously, just and no one seems to call them out on it, because why would they? Why would they? Because if they did, that'd be going against what they actually believe. They'd be going against what they actually believe. Case in point, one man in particular who does it more often than anyone else I know of. This fool. This is one idiot that I just cannot, absolutely cannot stand. Like I can't stand the best bone in this clown's body. I am live. Because of statements like this.
I can only assume that you will enjoy educating your family about how the Coast Guard is, quote, the hard nucleus around the Navy forms in times of war. You're a really dull class. I mean, come on, man. Is the sun getting to you? I would think you'd have an opportunity when I say that about the Navy to clap, but being here together.
The sad thing is that idiots in the crowd also clapped at that. But that sort of level of vitriol has always been just underneath. And now it's just out. They just throw it out there. I just don't understand it. I mean, I keep saying that because it's so baffling. If President Trump had done anything close to this, it would have been all over the news. Yet this bumbling buffoon can continue to speak like this about the military. And not a single issue is raised. Not a single one. I shouldn't be surprised. I'm not surprised. I really am not. But I wish they would surprise me once in a while and do the opposite of what I expect. And if you think that's only one time he did it, oh, no. This man is notorious.
What you may hear about me, I have incredibly good judgment. One, I married Jill. And two, I appointed Johnson to the academy. I just want you to know that. Just clap for that, you stupid bastards. Understanding what you may hear about me, I have incredibly good judgment. One, I married Jill. And two, I appointed Johnson to the academy. I just want you to know that. Just clap for that, you stupid bastards.
Clap for that. You stupid. Yeah. Exactly, Jacqueline. Have a good long weekend. Have a long weekend. Enjoy that long weekend that you get because of the death of other men and women. Don't use it to remember their sacrifice at all. No. In fact, no, that has nothing to do with what we're about right now. Ignore that. This is not going to be an entirely long live because I really wanted it to be an example to others of how far we have fallen as a nation. We have gone from patriotism to pandering to abusing. We have so many homeless veterans, it's not even a joke. They come home disrespected and they leave Earth disrespected in the worst possible way. They don't get any help really for their mental issues that they suffer. They don't get any real help for the physical issues that they suffer. They don't get any help for the financial issues that they suffer. And they get no help when it comes to housing. The homeless rate among vets is astronomical. The last numbers I heard was about 45% that come back end up homeless. That's a large amount. And even a higher percentage than that end up with such severe mental distress that they might as well be. There's no way to say Happy Memorial Day for me. There's no way to say Enjoy Memorial Day. I don't know that we pay the type of tribute that we should to these people. We just don't. If the government really cared about soldiers, you wouldn't see them homeless. You would not see them going through the kind of mental anguish alone that you see them doing. You wouldn't have challenges like the 22 push-ups a day for the 22 people that kill themselves because of the issues that they encounter coming back from the military. The death rate is ridiculous. I would say some of them today anyway, more die after getting home than in live combat. It's a hard thing to watch. It's a hard thing to witness, and it's a hard thing to swallow because they put so much on the line. Yeah, case in point, right, Jacqueline? Case in point. Everybody wants to talk about this, the military, as though they're the ones to blame for the issues in America. They're not even remotely responsible for that. I keep remembering stories of Vietnam vets coming back and people calling them baby killers. Men who witness horrific things. I really appreciate people like Mel Gibson. And the reason I say that is because when he does something to enact or depict something, he goes almost to the point of it being too realistic. And I remember the movie We Were Soldiers and his struggle to maintain being a captain and being a dad, being a leader in the middle of firefight like that and gunfire, and trying to stay strong, but witnessing the things that he had to witness. And that's every soldier. But the Vietnam War especially was just so crazy in its reasoning, and then also so dirty in its application, that the men that went through Vietnam War, I think, endured a different level of mental anguish afterwards. A different level of mental anguish. Probably just as bad as World War One vets, because they were young men. I remember seeing footage of airports and vets coming home, people throwing trash at them. Some of them wouldn't be able to get on a plane to make their adjoining flights. It was insane. It was absolutely insane. There was a scene in that movie where the napalm had just been dropped and a couple of the guys were burning from it, and they tried to move them. And as he grabbed his leg and pulled, it just, the skin just sloughed off of his leg. I can tell you right now, just witnessing the movie, if I were there in person and witnessed that kind of mayhem, I have a strong mind, but I will tell you now that I would never be able to sleep the same. I would never be able to sleep properly. I would be seeing things in my time when I'm awake. I would be no good. I have a fairly strong mind. But these are men they went through camp with. These are men they became friends with. It was literally family in front you, behind you, alongside you. You want to know why men and women in the military are so messed up when they come back home? It has very little to do with the actual act of war. It has everything to do with who it's happening to. I want you to understand that it has very little to do with the act itself of war. Their training prepped them for war. The training will never prep you for watching your brother explode next to you. There is no training for that. None. These men foster a bond that many of us will never, ever experience unless it's with family. Very few of us will encounter another human being that we never grew up with, and by the end of our tenure with them, consider them more than family. And many of these men lost those kinds of people in the wars. They lost brothers, they lost sisters. You want to know why Memorial Day exists? It's so that we can join those people for even for a day in helping them remember the ones that they knew that fell. It is not necessarily for us. Yes, we partake in it a little bit, but Memorial Day is for the ones that are no longer here. But the bigger part is that the ones that are no longer here left people behind that knew them way, way deeper than a friend. And this is the one day we can all say, look, we'll remember it with you, or we'll be here for you. If you know a vet, who has been through war, who has witnessed these things, reach out to them and let them know they're not mourning alone. They can't be left by themselves alone in this period. Any day, really. I ask you to take a different approach to this Memorial Day. I want you to take a different approach to this Memorial Day. We have men and women behind us, before us, alongside us, that will eventually leave us to go fight for things that could potentially affect us. And some of these men and women will not return the same way they left. I hope you don't mind if I read this out. And if you got a second part coming, I'll read that too. If I can make it through this, because it's somehow just way too emotional for me. I think it's emotional because I don't look at military men and women through the eyes of government. I look at them through what they've endured and what they've put aside for the good of the country. Can you tell me the name of the poem? I'd like to read it in entirety for the audience. What is the name of this poem? In Flanders Field, is that that's what it would called? Okay. So I'm going to read it. Thank you for sharing that, because it'd be a great thing to add to this live, so people can actually have it. In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row that mark our place, and in the sky the lark still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are dead short days ago, we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and we are loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw the torch, to yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders field. Well, they have indeed handed us the torch to continue. Look, to those of us on the outside of the military, we may not ever understand that bond unless we have families, kids, mothers that are still alive and that we've just recently lost. We'll never really get it. I don't think even with that we'll ever get it unless we become soldiers. Because in all honesty, I don't have to go into the active battle with my family. I don't have to watch my child with a rifle in hand go alongside me to go into active line of fire, only to see him get decimated by bullets. I don't. Ooh. I have long been a fan of military movies. But it wasn't until I finally met a veteran that those movies had different. I mean, it took a different twist for me. Like when I used to watch Rambo when I was younger, it was all about the action and the action. And then I finally got Rambo. I didn't want to be Rambo. I don't ever want to be Rambo. The reason I would never want to be Rambo, as opposed to when I was a kid, was because every one of his family died, either a result of war, during the war, or because of something after. And the first movie, the first one, is where you really saw his, ironically, Vietnam issues. You saw his real, the terror that they encounter when they are left. He went home looking for his family, for his brothers, not just someone he served with. He was not the same. He found out that his friends and family were not the same when they got home either. That is why I will never disrespect a veteran. And I mean a veteran, not someone who's been in the military and left with nothing to show, did not form any bond, was an absolute idiot, left being an idiot. Because I know a few of those. Never respect those people. The same ones that come out and say, screw America. Didn't learn a thing. They never got what the military was about. They went in indoctrinated, came out indoctrinated, never learned what the military was about. They went in for rank, they went in for clout. They never went in for the love of the country because they never loved the country. Yes, Scott, I am in Wenatchee. I am talking about veterans who went into the military, embraced their brothers and sisters, realized that the fight that they were in was not for the government. What it was for the people of the United States of America. Everything they did was because they valued the freedoms that the founding fathers saw fit to put into the Constitution. They don't care about political party. They have no regard for either side. Their concern is for the American people. Those are veterans. No one goes to war, fights to the death without having some sort of reckoning of why they're doing it. Veterans understand why they did it. So I salute you. All those who served and those who have fallen, I salute you. Thank you. As someone who has not been born an American but was granted the privilege of being one, thank you. Thank you very much. Your sacrifice is not in vain. It is welcomed. I'm grateful for it. It will not be forgotten. It will always be honored. In spite of what the left may say about you. um, so again, I urge you to reach out to any vets. You know, make sure they know that they're not going through this by themselves. Please let them know. Because they need to know that. They really do. So, I will end a little differently than normal. I still want you to find wisdom, but I think it's only fitting that we end appropriately. And so we will end like this. Thank all of you for being here on this live. You'll have a great rest of the night. And thank you again, veterans.